President Trump's 2020 re-election campaign is well underway, and SUTV visited him on his most recent stop. Patrick Ramsdale has the story.
The Commander-in-Chief visited the Giant Center on Tuesday.
It's great to be back in the state that gave us the Liberty Bell, Pennsylvania Steel, Hershey chocolate. I like Hershey chocolate.
President Donald Trump visited Hershey this past week, his most recent stop in his 2020 re-election campaign. Thousands of Trump supporters packed into the Giant Center to hear the president's viewpoint on a variety of issues. The Keep America Great rally focused on a range of topics, including the media and his ongoing impeachment inquiry. President Trump's next stop is in Battle Creek, Michigan on the 18th.
A new Dunkin' Donuts is in development in Shippensburg Township. In a proposal from Brem Lebo Engineering, the national coffee chain and drive-thru is planning to go on Walnut Bottom Road by the Holiday Inn Express and Suites and the I-81 interchange. This plan comes after the successful opening of Starbucks at the Shippensburg Shopping Center last month. In a quote from the Shippensburg News Chronicle, Supervisor Linda Asper says, "We are happy. A lot of people like Dunkin', just like a lot of people like Starbucks. It's another business for our community," end quote. Part of the plan includes getting rid of a vacant house that sits on the property. A public hearing to discuss the property is scheduled for January 6th at the Shippensburg Township Building on Walnut Bottom Road. Stay tuned to SUTVnews.org as the story develops. Nearly 4 days since the High Street homicide, students continue to cope with the aftermath of the incident. Many students were within 2 or 3 blocks of the shooting in their off-campus housing, with little to no information about what occurred until a couple hours later. As a result, many students took to social media to voice their concern about the university's delayed response. Take a look. Despite police presence on the scene Sunday evening, students did not understand why the university took as long as they did to inform students about the shooting on High Street. Many students took to social media to voice their concern. One student on Twitter saying they were appalled by the lack of communication, with others saying the university underperformed. SHIP alumni also voiced their disappointment, with one woman tweeting, "Your students are human beings, not tuition dollars." Senior Gabby James says that the immediate alert was necessary for off-campus students.
Yeah, immediate detail what was happening. If we knew what was happening at that point and they messaged us a delayed response without enough detail, I think that's just not right.
James, like many other upperclassmen, lives on Richard Avenue, just mere feet away from where the homicide occurred, and only knew what was happening based off the police lights she could see through her window.
I think that initially, if the campus would have provided more detail, that would have been the most appropriate thing to do.
Similar to her classmates, James posted on Facebook saying that the initial messages she did receive from the university were vague, up until the students began posting on social media.
I think after we all posted those types of things, they started to go into more detail with the emails that they were sending from the Pennsylvania State Police and on behalf of the university's police director.
Following an email from President Carter and canceled classes on Monday afternoon, over 2,000 students also signed a petition calling for canceled classes until the suspects were taken into custody. Many campus programs and resources are still available to students following Sunday's shooting. Anybody who feels impacted by the incident can call 866-435-7268. I'm Katie Swigert. Back to you guys at the desk. This summer was nothing short of a success for SUTV. The station gained 3 Mid-Atlantic Emmy nominations in the college category. We start tonight with a story that has social media buzzing. Shares of Nike fell 3% Tuesday as calls to boycott the company trended on Twitter. Video released by the Oregon Zoo of a seal finding a new friend in a butterfly is almost too sweet for words. The adorable meet and greet was captured by the zoo's dive safety officer, Micah Reese. Kaya is a 3-year-old Pacific Arbor seal who's lived at the zoo since 2015. And as you can see, she is very, very friendly.
Former President Barack Obama expanded Patriot Day in 2016 to include a National Day of Service and Remembrance. Here at SHIP, students and faculty observed Patriot Day by honoring the 9/11 victims as well. Katie Swigert has more on Wednesday's event.
Captain Jason M. Dahl.
SHIP students and faculty came together on Wednesday to remember the lives lost on September 11th, 18 years ago. With the help from SHIP's Army ROTC, the ceremony honored the victims from Flight 93, one of 4 planes that were hijacked and eventually went down, crashing into a field in Shanksville, Pennsylvania after passengers failed to regain control.
Professor of Military Science, Lieutenant Colonel Christopher Morton, says that ceremonies like these are crucial as future first-year students will have been born after 2001.
I think that actually adds more responsibility to us to do things like this. You know, those who forget the past are doomed to repeat it, and I think that it's really important that we continue to remember the loved ones that were lost that day.
Katie Swigert, SUTV News.
SUTV's Katie Swigert is in the studio today to sit down with Dr. Allison Dagnes, a political science professor here at SHIP and the author of her newest book, Super Mad at Everything All the Time. Katie?
Hi, today I'm sitting down with Dr. Allison Dagnes. Dr. Dagnes, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Prior to teaching at Shippensburg, Dr. Dagnes received her doctorate in political science from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst, and Dr. Dagnes was a producer for C-SPAN in Washington, D.C. More recently, she wrote her third book, Super Mad at Everything All the Time, Political Media and Our National Anger. Can you tell us a little bit about your book?
Sure, I'd love to. Thanks so much for having me.
Of course.